What's up everyone? It's Jobon International and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something incredibly important for anyone looking to experience the beautiful country of Israel, getting your visa. Whether you're dreaming of exploring ancient Jerusalem, floating in the Dead Sea, or maybe even launching a startup in Tel Aviv, the right visa is your ticket in. Now, navigating the visa process can feel about as clear as the Dead Sea is. Well, clear, but we're gonna fix that. In this video, I'll be your personal guide, breaking down everything you need to know about Israeli visas. We're talking about the different types, the specific documents you'll need to gather, those pesky fees you gotta be ready for, and of course, my insider tips to maximize your chances of getting that glorious stamp of approval. Trust me, there's nothing worse than having your dream trip or big move put on hold because of a visa hiccup. So buckle up, grab a pen and paper, and let's get you well equipped to conquer the Israeli visa process like a pro. By the end of this video, you'll be practically an honorary citizen. Okay, maybe not quite, but you'll definitely be ready to apply. Let's do this. Alright, let's kick things off with the most common type of visa, the B2 tourist visa. This is your golden ticket to experiencing all the incredible sights and sounds Israel has to offer. Now, the B2 visa is specifically designed for short-term stays, letting you soak in the magic for up to 3 months. Think of it like a 90-day all-access pass to history, culture, and maybe even some killer hummus. So, who's eligible for this tourist visa? Well, it's pretty straightforward. If you're visiting for tourism, leisure, or maybe even a quick visit with family and friends, the B2 has got you covered. It's all about those short-term adventures. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the application process. First things first, you'll need to head over to the website of your nearest Israeli embassy or consulate. They're your go-to resource for all things visa-related. On their website, you'll find the application form, which, let's be honest, can be a bit of a drag. But hey, think of it as the small print before embarking on an epic adventure. Fill out that application form with the precision of a brain surgeon. Triple check for any typos. Seriously, those can be deal breakers. And gather up your documents. Speaking of documents, here's the essential checklist. First up, your passport. And not just any old passport. It needs to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay in Israel. Next, you'll need some recent passport-sized photographs. Make sure they're clear, professional, and show off your best smile, or at least a neutral expression. You'll also need proof of those round-trip flight tickets. This shows the Israeli authorities that you're not planning on overstaying your welcome. And speaking of not overstaying, you'll need proof of accommodation. This could be hotel reservations, Airbnb confirmations, or even a letter of invitation from your Israeli friend who's promised you the spare room. Now, to make sure you're not planning on becoming a street performer in Tel Aviv, unless you have a work visa, of course, you'll need proof of sufficient funds. This means bank statements, credit card statements, traveler's checks, anything that demonstrates you can financially support yourself during your stay. Once you've got all your ducks in a row, submit your application, pay that fee, and wait for the magic to happen. Alright, moving on to the B1 visa, your ticket to legally working in the startup nation. This visa is specifically designed for foreign experts and professionals who've landed a job offer in Israel. Think of it as your work permit to contribute your skills and talents to the Israeli economy. Now, the B1 visa is typically valid for 1 to 5 years, depending on your employment contract and the specific needs of your employer. And trust me, getting this visa is a pretty good indicator that your skills are in high demand. But here's the catch. You can't just waltz into Israel on a tourist visa and start handing out resumes. The B1 visa requires a bit more groundwork. First and foremost, you'll need to secure a job offer from an Israeli company. This is non-negotiable. Your future employer will actually play a crucial role in the visa application process. They'll need to file a request with the Israeli Ministry of Interior on your behalf, basically vouching for your skills and the necessity of your employment in Israel. They'll need to prove that they couldn't find an equally qualified Israeli candidate for the position. Once your employer has done their part, it's time for you to step up to the plate. Head over to, you guessed it, the website of your nearest Israeli embassy or consulate. You'll find the B1 visa application form there, along with a list of required documents. You'll need all the usual suspects. A valid passport, still valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay. Those passport-sized photos that make you look like a diplomat. And proof of your flight reservations. You'll need to provide your employment contract signed and sealed by both you and your Israeli employer. This contract should outline the terms of your employment, including your salary, benefits, and duration of employment. Next up, you'll need to prove that you're not bringing any shady pasts with you. This means providing a police certificate or a criminal record check from your home country or any other country you've lived in for an extended period. Once you've gathered all the necessary documents, submit your application, pay the visa fee. Again, this varies depending on your nationality, and prepare to play the waiting game. Chapter 3. Alright, calling all knowledge seekers and future scholars. If your sights are set on pursuing higher education in Israel, the A2 student visa is your key to unlocking a world of academic opportunities. Whether you're drawn to cutting-edge research, ancient history, or the vibrant cultural scene, studying in Israel is an experience like no other. Now, the A2 visa is specifically designed for individuals who've been accepted into a recognized Israeli educational institution. This could be a university, a yeshiva, a seminary, or even a language school, as long as it's accredited by the Israeli Ministry of Education. The duration of your A2 visa will depend on the length of your study program. So, whether you're diving into a short-term language course or embarking on a full-fledged PhD, your visa will be tailored to your academic journey. But here's the thing. Just like the work visa, you can't just show up with your backpack and a thirst for knowledge. You'll need to secure admission to your chosen institution first. This means going through their application process, submitting transcripts, letters of recommendation, and maybe even acing an entrance exam or two. Once you've received that coveted acceptance letter, it's time to shift your focus to the A2 visa. Head over to, you know the drill by now, the website of your nearest Israeli embassy or consulate. Download the visa application form, print it out, and stock up on those black or blue pens. It's time to channel your inner scholar and fill out that form with meticulous care. You'll need the usual suspects: your passport, still valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay, and those passport-sized photos that capture your best "I'm ready to ace those exams" look. You'll need to provide your letter of acceptance from your Israeli educational institution. This is like your golden ticket, proving that you've met their academic requirements and are ready to embark on your academic adventure. Next, you'll need to prove that you're not planning on becoming a starving artist, unless your chosen field of study is art, of course. You'll need to provide proof of sufficient funds to support yourself financially during your studies. Once you've gathered all the required documents, submit your application, pay the visa fee. Again, check the embassy website for the most up-to-date fees, and get ready for the waiting game. The processing time for an A2 visa can vary, so it's best to apply well in advance of your program start date. Chapter 4. Okay, let's talk about keeping those family ties strong, even across international borders. The A4 visa, also known as the spouse and family visa, is designed to reunite families in Israel. This visa is specifically for spouses, children, and sometimes even parents of foreign workers, students, or immigrants who already have a legal status in Israel. Now, the A4 visa is all about maintaining family unity. It allows immediate family members to join their loved ones who are living, working, or studying in Israel. It's based on the principle that families should be together, and it provides a pathway for loved ones to share in the Israeli experience. To be eligible for the A4 visa, you need to have a close family member who's already residing in Israel with a valid visa. This could be a spouse who's working in Tel Aviv, a child who's studying at a university in Jerusalem, or even a parent who's made Aliyah, immigrated to Israel. Now, the application process for the A4 visa might seem a bit familiar by now. You'll need to visit the website of your nearest Israeli embassy or consulate, download the application form, and gather the necessary documents. You'll need the usual suspects: a valid passport, valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay, those all-important passport-sized photos, and proof of your flight reservations. But here's where the family connection comes into play. You'll need to provide proof of your relationship with your family member in Israel. This could include a marriage certificate, birth certificate, or any other legal document that clearly establishes your familial bond. Now, your family member in Israel will also play a crucial role in the application process. They'll need to provide supporting documents such as a copy of their passport, their Israeli visa, and maybe even a letter of invitation stating their commitment to supporting you financially and emotionally during your time in Israel. Chapter 5. Alright, for those of you dreaming of making a permanent move to Israel, the Aliyah visa, also known as the immigration visa, is your pathway to calling this incredible country your new home. Aliyah, which literally means ascent in Hebrew, is the process of Jewish immigration to Israel, and it's a cornerstone of the country's history and identity. The Aliyah visa is specifically designed for individuals who are eligible for Aliyah under the law of return. This law grants Jews, their children and their grandchildren the right to immigrate to Israel and acquire Israeli citizenship. It's a powerful testament to the Jewish connection to their ancestral homeland. Now, the process for obtaining an Aliyah visa is a bit more involved than the other visas we've discussed. It's a life-changing decision, and the Israeli authorities take it very seriously. But don't worry, we'll break it down step by step. First and foremost, you'll need to gather a significant amount of documentation to prove your Jewish heritage. This typically involves providing birth certificates, marriage certificates, and other genealogical records that clearly establish your Jewish lineage. You might also need to provide documentation related to your Jewish upbringing or practice. Once you've gathered your documentation, you'll need to schedule an appointment with the Jewish Agency for Israel. They're the organization responsible for processing Aliyah applications, and they have offices located all around the world. During your appointment, a representative from the Jewish Agency will review your documentation, ask you questions about your background and motivations for making Aliyah, and guide you through the next steps of the process. If your application is approved, you'll receive an Aliyah visa, which will allow you to enter Israel as an Oleh Chadash, a new immigrant. That's the complete step-by-step guide to getting an Israel visa. Whether you're visiting for tourism, work, or study, the process is straightforward if you prepare well. Remember, applying for a visa might seem a little daunting, but it's all about being organized, providing the right documentation, and showcasing your genuine intentions. The Israeli authorities want to make sure you're a welcome guest or a valuable contributor to their country, and by following the guidelines and putting your best foot forward, you'll increase your chances of getting that visa approved in no time. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to Jobon International, and drop your questions in the comments. See you in the next video.
Stay tuned with Jobon International.